Have a school to prison pipeline that begins not where I thought it did in high school, not in middle school, but on that first day of kindergarten, where a 5-year-old, depending on the color of their skin, may be 4 to 5 times more likely to be disciplined, to be suspended, to be expelled, setting them on a course of constrained opportunities, choices that they're not going to have that other kids, because of the color of their skin, will have. A school to prison pipeline that has produced the largest prison population on the face of the planet, 1/3 doing time right now for nonviolent drug crimes, including possession of marijuana, a substance that's legal in 29 states in this country today. Who's going to be the last person? Chances are, given the disproportionate weight of law enforcement on the backs of people of color in this country, the last African American man to do time for something that's legal in the majority of the states of this union. Who's going to be the last person who, after their release, is going to have their driver's license taken from them, making it that much harder to get to work or to get to school or to see family or to be friends or to see their friends or to be treated like a man or a woman? Who's going to be the last person who will now be unable to qualify for a student loan or to better themselves so they can do better for those in their lives, for their community, and for their country? I want to make sure that we, the people of Texas, lead the way in ending a war on drugs that has become a war on people, a war on some people over other people, a war on people that has been described, not inaccurately, as the new Jim Crow, that is keeping people out of their democracy, keeping people out of civic life, keeping people out of economic opportunity in this country. I want to make sure that we're also the same state that expunges the arrest records of everyone who's been arrested for just having possession of marijuana in this state. How can we be the people who lock up those who just have marijuana on them or who are low-level dealers? How can this be the same country that allows those who came up with the opioid crisis, that marketed those opioids to the doctors and the prescribers and the pharmacists, and therefore the American people? An opioid crisis that, along with other addictions, has claimed the lives of 70,000 Americans to drug overdoses just in the last year. Those corporate executives get off scot-free. They're not doing any prison time right now. They paid no fines of any substance or consequence. And yet some people, perhaps owing to the color of their skin, will be doing time right now. This is not right, this is not just, and this is incredibly expensive. $22,000 a year is the minimum cost to keep somebody locked up for an entire year. And that doesn't even begin to speak to the opportunity cost of their not being able to finish their education or to go to work or to pay their taxes or to raise their family or to shoulder their fair share of their burden, so it rests a little bit lighter on everyone else. I want to make sure that this state leads in every single aspect of criminal justice reform, beginning in that kindergarten classroom, so that we have true equity in education, not just in the resources in those classrooms, but teachers who understand the students in front of them, and where we can, make sure those teachers look like the students in front of them. Make sure that that educational journey begins not in kindergarten, where some kids on the first day of kindergarten are already 10 months behind in math, already 12 months behind in reading, but we begin with universal pre-K all day for every single child in America. They stand a far better chance of graduating from high school, of continuing on with higher education, of earning more over the course of their lifetimes. I want to make sure that it is this state that leads the way in replacing a cash bail system that says that some people are too poor to be able to get out of jail, that says that the Harris County jail system, 10,000 inmates who have yet to be convicted of anything, are there awaiting their trial, maybe months at a time, some getting arrested on purpose in the least insured state in the United States of America, where folks get locked up on purpose because their schizophrenia, their bipolar disorder, their depression is untreated because they're uninsured. So at the cost of $400 a night per person, they take themselves to the jail here in Austin, to the county jail in Harris County, And they're not outside with their families. They're not outside working those jobs. They're not outside earning and learning and being better people for being outside of those prisons. They're inside right now at a terrible cost to this country. I want to make sure that every single one of us is given the opportunities that we need in life. And after we lead the way on cash bail, on equity in education, on ending the war on drugs, on expunging the arrest records for those who have possession, last and most importantly, I want to make sure that everyone who's been arrested, everyone who has done time, has access to the resources to reintegrate into their communities, to reintegrate back into their lives, to be able to live to their full potential as well. I know that we can do this.